Okay, we're almost done with this project. The only part we haven't done is sort of the closing, what might more formally be called the complementary closing or the signature and so forth. So there's a section for your name. Since this is a business letter, it should be pretty formal. It should be, don't just put just your first name or a nickname. You put your first and last. It's okay to use your normal name that you use, like Joe instead of Joseph. And I always call my student Joe student, as if student were his last name. Title, that's optional. I'm just going to delete it. You might want to put middle school student if that's your title. Or if you were like president of the class, you could put something like that. Okay? Now, there's a sign here for letters sent by mail or fax. You need to delete those words, delete that stuff, but what that's reminding you is that there's a space here, and it's sort of a large space that's intentional. It needs to be there, and it needs to be somewhat of a large space. This is where you will sign with a pen after you print it, if you choose to print it. In my class, it's not mandatory that you print it. I don't expect that you print it. It's just for those people who want to print it and send it. Don't try to get fancy here and change, like write your name and change it to some sort of handwritten font that's very tacky. You don't do that in a business letter. The whole point of a signature is that it's your hand writing it with a pen. That is an important moment when you sign it. You sign over your other name, your printed name that's easier to read. You sign with your hand because that signifies that it's an authentic document from you. That handwritten signature is like a fingerprint almost. It literally is like a fingerprint. Just like fingerprints are used in court to prove that somebody touched something, a signature is used in court to prove that somebody really did sign a document and therefore, agreed to whatever was written in that document. And for example, I could write a letter from you and I could type your name and send that letter, and someone would say, oh, that person sent me a letter and look what they said. But that letter's not really from you. And if they handed it to you and say, did you write this letter? You say, no, I didn't sign it. Show me my signature. You can't prove that that's really me. But when you sign a letter with your hand and with a pen, you are authenticating the paper and the document and taking full ownership of it. So it is important when you send a business letter to have both your typewritten name, so it is clear and legible, and also your signature in your own style, the way that you write your name with your hand. So leave a section here. For purposes of this project, I do expect to see a space here. I do not expect to see you to have tried to, play some sort of interesting game with a font or something of that nature. Down at the very bottom, there's a section that says Enclosures. You're not including any enclosures. If this were a business document and you needed to have photos, you could indicate that it was something else in the envelope by putting in enclosures. I'm going to delete that. CC would be a section where you would write if you were sending a copy of this letter to someone else. For example, if I sent a very official letter to the principal of the school, who is my boss, but I also wanted to send a copy to, say, the superintendent of schools, then I might address the letter to the person I'm writing it to, but I might give someone else a courtesy copy. That's what CC stands for. It stands for courtesy copy. We're not doing that, so you can delete that as well. So once you have completed all of these sections, you are done with this project. In your version, since you're doing this in Google Docs, there should be a Turnitin. So if you feel confident that this is done from your perspective, then please click on the Turnitin so that I know you're done with this project and it goes to me for grading. Thank you. That is the end of this video.